I love gambling. Honkai Star Rail helps me to quell my obsession by spending copious amounts of time and money on 3D models with pretty colors. Like many people, I was drawn to the game because of another related gambling simulator, in hopes that I would be able to divorce myself from the pain that haunts me daily. This was a grave mistake, and now I must balance my addiction between two different slot machines, both of which are out to slit my throat and steal my wallet. Honkai Star Rail is a game, featuring interactive gameplay and peak narrative, from securing a harem of voice spins to massacring a god, consequently causing a simultaneous ecological succession. This video will be my idea of a general overview of the game, its mechanics, as well as the pain and suffering you will endure while exploring its wonderful universe. But first, let me admit that I do indeed enjoy the game. Just keep in mind that this video contains what one might call an opinion, and cannot be used as admissible evidence in a court of law. Now then, let's get into this space odyssey and discover a whole new world that you may have seen once before. Like many RPGs, Honkai Star Rail's story is comprised of some elaborate intergalactic nirvana crap, that of which is barely comprehensible to my tiny infant brain. But from what I understand, our protagonist is born into the complex world of anime, thanks to this unimportant character. We then proceed to be kissed by... Damn it. Turns out, we are on a spaceship that also happens to be under attack by the Space Taliban, who serve the god of being angry or something? They also happen to have a goal of ending all of humanity. Naturally, it is up to us, the Amnesiac, to stop it. We fight a space god, and then hop on the cosmic subway, where we join a gang, and use our newfound powers to have superfluous conversations with garbage cans. There are some side stories where we travel to other planets and save people from certain demise, but more importantly, I have more trash cans to attend to. Along the way, we run into a galactic puppet who forces us to play VR games for a few hours. While it may seem tedious at first, the simulated universe, as I'm now being told it's called, focuses heavily on combat, which turns out to be the best part of the game. I played Persona 5 once, therefore I am a trusted and knowledgeable source on what a turn-based game should look like. And Railing the Stars is indeed a turn-based game, though certain aspects may convince you otherwise. For example, I was lucky enough to receive both Bronya and Seele, which, when used together, make the game turn-based only in the sense that the enemy does not get one. Imagine a game of chess, except every time your queen takes a piece, it gets to move again. Or Jing Huan, who adds an extra turn, where his ultimate stand drops an entire nuclear bomb on the opponent. Basically, the game gives you a superiority complex by handing you overwhelming power. It's awesome. I would tell you more about the characters, however, there are quite a few of them, and I am what we in the business call a broke college student, and live with the constant struggle of deciding between gambling on fictional anime women and having enough food to eat this month. Anyway, the combat consists of 7 elements, each of which can do super effective damage to certain opponents. However, this is optional, as you could instead invest all of your resources into your DPS lackey, and play the game by simply spamming buttons. You may at first experience the illusion that you need the other 3 party slots the game provides you, but you would be wrong. Your goal should be to make a single DPS character that can hit the enemy harder than an angry father with a belt. Of course, you probably want to put characters in these extra slots anyway. The supporting cast consists of a shielder, healer, buffer, or even more DPS. Ideally, you want to have a team prepared for multiple different kinds of content, such as the aforementioned simulated universe. But that's boring, and I will instead continue with my strategy of spamming a single move. Thanks, Seele. Star Rail proves that repeating a task many times over can actually trick you into perceiving it as fun. This is known as the simulated universe, where, instead of simply attacking an opponent, I can attack an opponent but with amusing side effects. You can choose one of 5 paths in the simulated universe, each providing different psychotic power-ups that can make fighting entirely trivial, provided you are lucky enough to not end up with a dozen blessings of Velation. My degrading adolescent brain couldn't construct the last few points into a coherent paragraph, so instead, I will randomly proceed to talk about topics such as the most important topic in Star Rail: gambling. If you know anything about gacha games, you know that the odds are not in your favor. You can spend a bunch of time and money to completely max out your characters, but your dad better be Bill Gates. However, one could argue spending money is actively sabotaging your experience. Turn-based games are about forming a team strategy to tactically overcome a threat. This results in removing the difficulty and subsequently the fun of a game. However, tossing wads of green paper at an opponent to give them a vast amount of paper cuts is also a viable option. I won't stop you. Now, you might be wondering, should I play Honkai Star Rail? And the answer is maybe. Turn-based combat isn't for everyone, and the game gets a bit slow after a while. However, if you immerse yourself in the story and characters, you'll have a much better time. That, or you can exclusively spend your paycheck on attractive people. whatever floats your boat. Just remember, you can only see your electronic model if you pay your electricity bill.